I feel like I've wasted 90 minutes of my life.
Well, you're going to feel that way about the next one, too. That's the intro.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 31 of Why Would You Show Me This? I am Will.
And I'm Dani.
And after our Lynch marathon, it is now Dani's turn to show me some films for a while. And you've clicked on this, so you know what film it is. So, Dani, would you please introduce the film you picked?
I picked the Flintstones 2 Viva Rock Vegas. It's one of my favorite movies when I was like a kid.
Yeah, of course, I would hope so, and not right now anymore.
No. It's definitely not one of my favorites now, but I still, like Will will tell you, I still had a good time watching it.
Yes.
I think people have realized what our particular movie interests are. Will likes more of the artsy stuff, and I have a tendency to like more of the like middle ground stuff. Mainstream
fare.
Mm-hmm.
More entertainment than anything else.
Yeah, it's trash and it's fine.
It's not all trash.
Not all of it, but some of it is.
Yeah, but you definitely go for different films than I do.
I do want to ask you before I forget.
Yeah.
Do you hate this more than Fired Up?
No. I
don't. Okay.
What did I give Fired Up? 3?
I'm not sure, but Fired Up's
2?
kind of the test. We don't talk about Voodoo Academy because you really hate that movie.
No, we don't. So. Here's the synopsis. Neither of us own this movie because we shouldn't. So let's read it from IMDb.
Okay, so this is it, right?
I would say the second one's better.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Flintstones are at it again. The Flintstones and the Rubbles head for Rock Vegas with Fred, who is played by Mark Addy. We'll get to that in a minute. Hoping to court the lovely Wilma Slaghoople, Kristen Johnston. Nothing will stand in the way of love except for the conniving Chip Rockefeller, Thomas Gibson, who is the playboy born in Baysville, but who has made it in the cutthroat town of Rock Vegas. Will Fred win Wilma's love? That synopsis actually kind of sucks too. So basically,
yeah,
I'll explain it.
You can explain it, yes.
So basically, this is a prequel to the Flintstones. You have Fred and Barney living together in a trailer, and then you have Wilma, who's apparently affluent, and her family is as well, and she runs away to slum it. Sort of. Yeah. I mean, that's the way you could kind of see it.
Yeah.
She runs away from that and her boyfriend Chip, who's like a smarmy, rich asshole. And then she meets Betty, and then they start living together because Betty's an insane person and meets Wilma.
Betty's just very nice.
She is. And there's a joke about that later on in the movie, which I like. But she just invites, like, as soon as she knows that Wilma is like not in a good place, and she thinks that she's caveless, not homeless, but caveless.
Of course.
And so she invites her to live with her like right away upon meeting her. Anyway, so obviously, at one part in the movie, all 4 of them meet, and
yes,
and it kind of just goes from there. What was really funny is that we got 30 minutes in, and there still was no conflict, and Will was very confused about this.
Yeah, so, being a person who loves film and has watched many, you understand that a normal film, which this is, like, I would say, like, a film that it's a normal story, normal narrative, three-act structure.
There you go.
Normally by 20 to 30 minutes, you understand the characters, you understand the conflict, and at about 20 to 30 minutes, about 30 minutes into this, they're basically just meeting.
Yes.
So it takes 30 minutes to set everything up.
Yes, it does.
Which you didn't really need to do.
No.
They didn't really need to do that. They could have cut that down a lot more. I mean, it's only a 90-minute movie.
Yes.
And it feels like there's padding in it already.
Yeah, which is weird.
But yeah, and then, it takes them an hour and... No, it takes them 45 minutes then to even get to Viva Rock Vegas.
That's true.
So the name of the movie, we don't even get there until halfway into the film.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that the reason they did a prequel, actually they didn't, this isn't really a great reason to do a prequel, I don't think.
No.
Nobody wanted to come back.
No, the original cast did not want
yes,
to come back.
John Goodman specifically was like, I'm not coming back for a sequel, and Rick Moranis had then retired by that point. So they decided to go for a prequel, which I don't... For the Flintstones, the Flintstones is already a prequel to humanity.
Yes.
Do we really need a prequel of the Flintstones?
Yeah.
No, we don't. I didn't at all.
We didn't even mention the beginning part with Gazoo, and you were not aware.
I was not aware of Gazoo being a part of
No.
the original Flintstones cartoon.
So when it opens, and it does open with Gazoo.
Yes, I was like, why the fuck are we in space?
Yes, and you're like, what is going on? What movie is this?
Speaking of Gazoo, so Gazoo's whole thing is he's sent down to see the mating rituals of humans, and he never does in the whole movie.
I guess not, no.
Never does. He just realizes that he is emotionless, and he's never going to find love, and that's it.
It's also never explained, why the fuck they're doing that.
Yeah, nothing is explained about it.
Because the aliens...
It's just, this is a character that is in the cartoon, let's bring him back.
Well, it's even shown that the aliens reproduce on their own. They basically just...
They have sex with themselves?
No. Did you miss that part?
I don't know.
Attention?
Probably not.
No, they literally just, mutate another one of themselves.
Oh.
And then that's it.
Okay.
That's how they...
Sure.
Have offspring.
Yeah.
They don't actually have sex.
Yeah.
And they obviously don't have emotions or whatever. Although, between, in that scene between the three of them, Gazoo and the other two, who are like, you're going to Earth, you fuck up.
Yeah.
They're all expressing emotions, though. And even making jokes. If there are no emotions... You can't make jokes. A sense of humor doesn't exist then. You know what I mean? So that's a whole thing, but we won't get into that.
I have a question. So, without Gazoo, would there be an Invader Zim?
Oh, I don't
know.
say
they seem similar.
I have no idea.
The way that the way that it is, he's a fuck up, he gets sent down to Earth, do something stupid.
If Jonan Vasquez was influenced by Gazoo, I really don't know how to feel about anything anymore. You know what I mean?
I guess so.
But I mean, truth be told, I think Gazoo is only in this because he's in the cartoon.
Of course. They needed to do something, yeah. I mean, this whole thing felt like the first Flintstones did well. Mm-hmm. I think it was a nice little piece of nostalgia for older people, and kids also loved it because, Hanna-Barbera was still running their cartoons in the morning and everything. I remember being a kid in 1994 and seeing the Hanna-Barbera cartoons and liking them. So it was gonna be a hit, You got people who watched it when they were kids, they grew up, they're gonna want to see this, and you got the kids that are also gonna want to see it because they're familiar with it as well. Mm-hmm. This is purely for money. There's nothing else you can say about this movie other than it was made to get cash.
Did it make back what it spent? Because
I don't know.
The budget for this had to
I don't even know if it was released in theaters. It feels like a direct-to-video sequel to me. Mm-hmm. But I just... It's just mediocre. It's not even, terrible. It's just mediocre. It's just a movie that you watch and at the end you're like... Bleh? That
was a movie.
It was a thing. Yeah. They used those characters. I know. Mm-hmm. They went from, they got to a point where we already know them. It just made no sense to me to make a prequel explaining how fucking Barney and Betty got together and Wilma and Fred got together. Why? It just felt stupid.
I do feel like they got Thomas Gibson to play the villain because they originally wanted Kyle.
Oh yeah, they wanted Kyle to come back.
And so they're like, we'll just get an actor that kind of looks like
him. This is the thing. I think that all they did was recon the script that they already had for the sequel.
That's possible.
They had the whole Las Vegas thing. We're going to take those Flintstones to Las Vegas. And then Goodman and Rick Moranis and everybody was like, nah. And they were like, well, shit. So they just did the whole like prequel. We're going to show how they got together then. We're going to show how they got Dino and all of this stuff.
I like Dino though.
I mean, yeah, Dino. Well, that's the thing. Dino, and like the best thing about this movie is the production design and the costumes and the puppets when they use them, because there is some CGI.
There is, but they use Jim Henson company puppets, so they're good.
I mean, that, you know, script writing.
The story is
horrible.
Terrible.
It's terrible. Yeah, it just. I mean, I remember, I haven't watched the original Flintstones in a long time, but I remember liking it. I remember thinking it had a good story. There was something happening that made you interested in what was going on.
Touching on the actors that are in it, we only realized, like, I don't know how much through the movie it took us to realize that Fred is played by Mark Addy, who is from Game of Thrones.
Yes.
Who plays King Robert Baratheon.
We were both like, oh, he looks familiar.
He looks really familiar. We know we've seen him from stuff. Obviously, he's not speaking with his British accent in this.
No.
So, but yeah, I thought that was really funny. Yeah. I'm just like, okay, there's someone of note, and actually someone who's like really good. Not to say that.
Well, back then he wasn't of note. Back then, I'm sure he was very, very happy to get this gig.
And I'm not saying everyone else is bad in this. I'm not saying that.
No, I mean everybody does fairly well.
They do.
I think
even the Baldwin.
What's her name? Jan, who played Betty?
Yes.
Jane Krasowski.
Okay.
From 30 Rock. Mm-hmm. She's Betty, and I think she did a great job as Betty. She made Betty very likable, very I think she might have, her and Mark Addy were probably the best in my estimation of the people in the film. I wasn't a
super big fan of Wilma in this.
No, yeah, I mean, you know, she's good in other stuff, but I feel like at some part in this movie, like, some people were just like, eh.
They just kind of phoned it in?
Yeah, because, like, this movie it's not important. Like, this movie is like, you come and you do your job, and then hopefully people will come see it, and Universal makes a bunch of money. I mean, that's all this movie is. To me, it's a big old fucking cash grab. I mean, it's so forgettable. It's such a forgettable movie. Nothing sticks out, other than like the production design. Other than nothing else really makes you remember anything. Like, there's no joke that I can remember that made me laugh. I mean, Alan Cumming is someone else who, I mean, he's just great. So whatever he's doing, like.
He plays both. He plays two roles actually in this. Yeah. He plays Gazoo, and he also plays Mick Jagged, which obviously is a play off of Mick Jagger, and that's exactly who he's supposed to be.
And why don't you go ahead and tell me what you thought about this movie before we watched it?
I thought he was Mick Jagger.
Danny told me that Mick Jagger has a cameo in this film.
Yeah. He does.
No, he doesn't.
He doesn't.
It made no sense to me when she told me that, because, like, why the fuck would Mick Jagger want to be in the sequel to Flintstones?
That just is an attestament to Alan Cumming's ability to be like Mick Jagger.
Sure, or maybe how much you know about Mick Jagger.
Yeah, that too. No, I didn't realize it was Alan Cumming, and then I realized that, and I was like, oh, I'm fine with that, then, because he's great in everything.
Yeah.
I love him in everything he's in.
I love how they didn't try to, like, make any other of the band members look like anybody else from the Stones.
No.
Because they were like, who gives a shit? It's the front man. That's all anybody cares about.
Although there is a pretty tasteless joke where his, like, guitarist... Yeah. Like, there's a robbery that happens in the casino that they're currently in, you know, they announce, you know, someone has committed a crime, and he's like leaning on a girl, and he leans in and goes, "How old did you say you were?" And I was like, that's a pretty gross joke. Yeah. Like, that's really gross.
And his guitarist, by the way, who, like I said, it looks nothing like Keith Richards.
No.
At all.
No.
Didn't even try to make him seem like Keith Richards, even though Keith Richards might be as famous as Mick Jagger compared.
Or more.
Yeah, or more infamous for sure.
There's actually not quite a few, but there's a few issues in this movie that we noticed watching it, and that was one of them. One of the other ones was everyone who was a servant or subservient in their job at any point, especially around the main characters, were minorities.
Yeah, about 80%. I saw like one or two white people.
Yeah.
There was also, in the casino, there were some people at the tables who weren't servants that were minorities as well. But yeah, I mean, it just leaves a little bad taste in your mouth.
And who's
also,
the valet?
The valet is John Cho.
Yeah.
One of his, I guess, first roles.
Yeah, and I looked at him and was like, I know him. Like,
yeah.
I recognize him.
Yeah. And it's just to think about this, like, this is a movie that was made 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not that long ago.
No, and also, I will point out that, like, there are these bad guys that are after Chip, which I mentioned was Wilma's, like, skeevy ex-boyfriend. He owes money, of course, because, if you're a piece of shit, that's what you do. And the guys who come after him, one is a larger fellow,
Mm-hmm.
and then the other one is I can't remember what he's from. Is he from
Bad Santa?
Yeah, he's from Bad Santa. No, I don't.
He is.
That. Okay.
Yeah.
But I noticed that as well, where I'm just like, I don't know how I feel about that. You know what I mean? It's
just the thing.
Also,
like nothing was.
But also the bad guys, the two like bad guys for Chip.
Yeah.
Like who his bodyguards were both large, bald black men. You know what I mean? Like it just didn't feel good. So maybe we're being too sensitive. I don't know, but we did kind of notice that where anybody
that sticks out.
Anybody who was a villain except for Chip, who was the main villain, but even his girlfriend was also of Latin descent. I'm not sure, but she had an accent.
Yeah,
and all of that,
yeah.
And she was a bad person. So it was just like anybody who isn't like super important to the plot or is a villain and bad seem to be played by a minority. So I just don't know how that comes across, but that's really all we'll say about it. It made us uncomfortable.
It was just something that we noticed.
Yeah, we noticed it was like, nah, that's not the best. So.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say about this film at this point.
What did you think of the music? The covers of all the songs.
Stupid. I mean, it's nothing.
I feel the music, the soundtrack music, not all the songs, but the background music of all that stuff, I felt very Flintstone-y.
Sure, I mean they used a lot of stuff from the cartoon, a lot of sound effects.
I don't mean the sound effects. I mean the background music of stuff.
Well, sure,
so,
yeah. I mean,
I feel that was.
They
good.
probably used music from the cartoon. I wouldn't doubt it.
I have no idea.
I know a lot of the people, a few of the people that did voices on the cartoon, did have cameos.
Well, Wilma's father, who's like a dementia-ridden general or colonel.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Colonel. He the man who plays him, I guess, was actually the original voice of Gazoo in the cartoon. So I thought that piece of trivia was kind of cool.
And at the end, there's a big old wedding sequence with Fred and Wilma, and they have a close-up of two older gentlemen singing along with this Flintstones theme song, and that is Hanna-Barbera.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, sure, I feel like they should have been in the better movie than
maybe
this
they were.
one. Maybe they were. I don't know. I don't remember.
They might have had a cameo in the first one.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, it's just the movie is so it's just whatever. Like, so it's very hard for me to like really.
You can talk about all the shit you hate about it.
Give a shit.
If you want.
But that's the thing. I don't even particularly like hate anything. It's just like. Like it's just like okay, sure, all right. Like it's a movie for kids, obviously. I'm not the intended audience. But there are some adult like jokes, adult themes, which makes me believe that they were trying to get parents to also enjoy it along with their children.
Well, yeah, I mean,
but they didn't really put in any jokes that were great for that to happen.
Not really.
Not for me, at least. But again, like the star of this film is just all the sets, all the real sets they made for it. Back in the day when they still made real sets.
Well, there's there's a carnival sequence that when I pointed out to you, there's like a full ass rock looking, because everything, naturally in this is, supposed to look like it's made out of rock and stuff like that. But they had a full, not a merry-go-round, Ferris wheel.
Yes, Ferris wheel.
And it looked...
a whole built thing.
And it was a full built Ferris wheel that looked like it was built out of rocket stuff. And I turned to Will and I said, how much do you think that cost to make that?
They had a good budget for sure. There was really a good budget. I think they spent it more on that stuff than like talent.
Yeah, probably. Or getting a better script.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I mean, I just feel like I don't know why they didn't just come up with a new idea. I mean, just because the cast hasn't come back doesn't mean that you can't do a sequel.
That's true.
Plenty of sequels have been done with people not returning.
Mm-hmm.
And they could have done that and it could have been better. I just think there's no need for a prequel story with the Flintstones, like, at all. I don't understand why. It just doesn't make sense to me why they would do that. Why it doesn't matter. It did matter to me. Maybe it matters to other people.
I don't know.
I just didn't care.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, yeah, they're gonna wind up together. So what are the stakes? What? Nothing's gonna surprise me. I know where we're gonna get to at the end of this.
We don't even actually get to see the villain get his comeuppance either.
No, and we don't even get to see, like, Wilma and Fred get married, but Barney and Betty are just like, oh, we're gonna get married eventually. It's like,
yeah, she catches...
They seemed more in love than, like, they were the first ones that, like, seemed in love in the movie before Fred and Wilma.
That's true.
So it's like, why did Fred and Wilma get married first?
We didn't mention that in the carnival scene when they're going on their date, because when they met them, they actually switched. So
yes.
Barney was actually supposed to be on the date with Wilma.
Yes.
And Betty was
some
supposed
wife
to be
swapping going on.
Well, I mean,
in Bedrock.
Not really, but
there was a point where I almost thought that Barney was gonna ask, like, for a threesome. Like, so they get to
Jesus.
I felt that way. So they get to the carnival. Barney and Betty realize they like each other, and then Fred and Wilma go off, and they're still kind of iffy. But then Barney comes back, and he's like, hey, so I know that I originally came here with Wilma, and I thought he was gonna be like, would you mind if Wilma comes along with me and Betty, and you're just by yourself? But that did not happen.
That did not happen.
No, not at all.
Of course you would think that.
What? There were some adult themes earlier in the film when Gazoo comes back to Barney and Fred's house. Fucking, they have, like, bunk beds, and then Barney falls on top of Fred, and then Gazoo's like, I've come to see how you mate, so get to it. and they're basically in position to have sex if they were to do that.
I just like the fact they're like, well, we're not really about that.
Yeah.
And they're not like, about it. You know what I mean? They're like, well, that's not really what we do. You know?
Yeah.
So, I thought that part was kind of strange, but.
Well, Alan Cumming was probably like, look, you're not going to say any of this shit.
You're not going to just imply this.
Yeah, you're not going to, like, say that it was that they could have had sex with one another or whatever. I mean, when's the last time you watched this?
Back when I had cable still. So, a really long time ago.
Were you still a child or were you an adult?
I was in, like, high school,
okay.
I would say. There were a lot of times I would have, like, HBO on in my room, like...
And it would just pop on?
Just, as background noise or whatever. Mm-hmm. And one of the two would come on. It was either the first one... Well, since there's only two.
There's only two.
But, I mean, it was either or, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I remember that. So it's been a while since I've seen it.
Okay, so give me some of your thoughts now seeing it a little bit later on.
I still enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah,
it's not like when I watched it when I was in high school or whatever that I thought it was amazing.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, I mean, I think anybody who knows me knows that I'm big on, like, costumes and characters and big productions like this.
Yes.
Like, I love the dance number at the end. It's stupid as hell, but I love it because that's the kind of stupid shit that I love in movies.
Yeah.
So, it was still just as entertaining to me.
I think so I think that it might be a little nostalgia.
Yeah.
And I think that is what we come to with these films like this, where we may have enjoyed them as children years ago, and nowadays we watch them and we still enjoy them, but I don't think we still enjoy them because they're good. I think we still enjoy them because we enjoyed them when we were younger.
Although there have been some films I've watched recently that I liked a lot when I was younger, and then I watched them recently, and I'm like, this is trash.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes,
Sometimes it doesn't hold up.
Sometimes it doesn't hold up. Other times, I think it's just like, we have some sort of special memory with that film, no matter no matter what scale of good or bad it's, where it is. It's just the fact that it reminds us of something when we were younger.
Yeah.
I mean, I have that with a lot of films, sure, like fucking like Surf Ninjas and stuff like that from the early 90s. Like, it's not great, but it reminds me of a time when I was very happy, so that in turn makes me continue to like that movie, not because of the movie itself, because of the feelings associated with that movie.
Right.
And I think this is probably that way for you. I mean, we're all different. I don't want to say, it's just like, I can't see anybody watching this, even if you're a gigantic Flintstones fan, watching this and be like, yeah, that was a great movie.
I think if you're a Flintstones fan, it's fine.
I don't know. It's just like, the first one was just good. Like, I remember it having a good story, and I remember it like being funny and things like that. This one is just so flat. There's no like life in it to me.
Okay.
Like, it's just kind of like doing the bare minimum to get to the end.
Gotcha.
I don't know. That's just how I feel about it.
I don't give a shit. I showed it to you because I had a feeling you wouldn't like it.
Yeah. This is Danny's payback.
That's what this is all about.
I guess.
Why would you show me this?
Why would you show me? Yeah. Why would I've known about this movie for a very, very long time, and I have been very, very.
If you're upset about this, you're gonna be more upset about what I'm gonna pick next.
I'm not upset. I'm just. I feel like I've wasted 90 minutes of my life.
Well, you're gonna feel that way about the next one too. That's the intro.
Yeah. God. Yeah, I mean...
Do you want to rate it and end this?
You don't have anything else to say about this turd that you put me through?
I enjoy it.
Danny enjoys this turd.
And I still enjoy it.
That's fine. I mean, I'm happy that you enjoyed it. Okay.
No, you're not. You're desperately trying to figure out why the fuck are you with somebody who would enjoy someone like this?
No, something like this. No. Actually, what I was thinking about, so we're watching this movie for the podcast. Danny's pick, and for the past few days I've been trying to show Danny the 1967 first Russian horror movie ever, V, and she's been putting it off, but we're going to be watching that tonight. So I just find that a very funny juxtaposition that you showed me Flintstones, Viva Rock Vegas, and I'm going to show you 1967 horror film from Russia.
This is us. This is who we are.
If you ever doubted the difference between Danny and I's watching habits, right there in plain sight, right?
And that's why we have the discussions that we have.
Yes, I think that's why it works, because the thing that I love the most is that there has been plenty of films that I've showed Danny that she's appreciated. Whether or not she fully enjoys them or ever wants to watch them again, she has shown appreciation for them, which I appreciate that you appreciate the art films that I show you. You have showed me some things that...
No, you appreciate nothing. You appreciate nothing of what I've shown you.
No, that's very untrue. That's very untrue.
Fired Up is a treasure.
Oh, it's not. But I mean, Swing Kids is a film that I didn't love, but I appreciated. I liked some of the things that it did. Adventures of Priscilla is one I don't think I ever would have watched. I mean, I'd heard about it, but it was, I was just happy that you showed it to me. There's plenty of films that you've showed me that I've enjoyed.
You haven't hated all.
I haven't hated all of the movies that you've shown me.
No.
I've hated a good amount of them.
I've hated a good amount of yours too, but that's what it's all about.
That's what it's about. And again, I don't hate this movie. No. I don't hate Viva Rock Vegas.
You can't hate it.
You can't.
It's like hating Dino,
Yeah, I mean, it's just mediocre as hell.
Yeah.
It's all it is. It's just...
Yes.
It's a clear, like, this is for money. We don't care about this. We just want to make it and get it out there and make your children bring them.
Which is funny because, I mean, we're going to have to see what this budget was because, like I said, like, all of this stuff had to cost so much to make. So they really had to be thinking that this movie was going to make it. You know what I mean? Or make a bunch of money, which I don't really know if it did.
The budget was $83 million.
Do you see what I'm talking about? How much?
Opening weekend, it grossed 10.
Yeah, that's not.
And its worldwide gross was 59 million.
Yeah,
so it lost.
It lost a lot.
21 mil. No, it lost $24 million. Yeah.
Yeah, I told you.
They filmed it in Arizona.
No way, where?
Page,
I
Arizona.
don't know where the hell.
Also in California, but they filmed a little bit in Arizona.
That's kind of cool, actually. I'm
Sure.
kind of excited about this show.
Arizona also, it used to have only Flintstones theme park, which I went to.
It's gone, right?
It's gone now. It looked like it should have been gone when I went. It was pretty fucking old and decrepit.
Watch that video.
Yeah.
Watch Will slide down a slide and eat shit.
Yeah.
While holding his camera at the same
I
time.
saved my camera. That's why I ate shit. The
I
camera
know.
we're filming this with right now. If I didn't save this camera, we wouldn't be filming.
That's true.
But yeah, that's on my channel. Just look up the Flintstones and you can see that shit.
It's a good video. I really like it.
It's it was an interesting thing to go see.
Yeah.
The fact that was still alive and around in 2016.
I wouldn't say alive, but I would say around.
It wasn't alive.
It
was on like life support, basically.
Yeah.
But check that out. It's interesting. It was an interesting place for sure.
And it's relevant to this.
Yeah. I think going there was better than watching this movie. For me.
Yo.
Yeah. I had a much better time at the old, weird, decrepit Flintstones theme park than watching the decrepit, horrible Flintstones of sequel.
Then you're going to be really upset about next week.
Oh, Lord. Okay. I guess we'll rate it, though. I would probably give this a 3 out of 10.
Okay. Strictly
because of all of the work that the crew put in. Not anything else, but the work that the crew put in.
Okay.
I got to appreciate that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I give it a 5.
Okay, I mean that seems right. It's like right down the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not. It's.
I could watch it and not watch it. Like
I never want to watch it again in my entire life.
I know you don't.
I will watch the first one.
Yeah.
I would actually like to watch the first one and see if I still think that's a good movie now that I've seen this one.
I would hazard you to watch it and see if you still like it.
Yeah. Because I don't know, but yeah, this one gets a 3 from me for sure.
I've done good work.
Oh yeah. Are you trying to get me down to 0 again?
No. I don't know if I ever will unless I pick another one of his films, and I'm not allowed.
I don't know. It depends on. There's plenty of films that I could absolutely fucking despise that you could pick.
That's true.
I mean,
I'm probably, like I said, the next one that I'm gonna pick is probably gonna be one of those.
Can I guess what the next one's gonna be?
No.
Okay.
No, you can't.
All right, because Danny has a list. I've seen some of the list, so I'm kind of worried about what it's going to be. You don't want to announce it on this episode. You want it to be a surprise for everyone?
I want people to anticipate it.
All right, anticipate the next movie I'm going to hate, everyone.
Why would you show me this?
Exactly. We're living up to the name now that we've gone through good Lynch films.
Jesus. I'll get back to good films soon. I gotta poke you a little bit.
Poke the bear.
I mean, how many films did I watch of David Lynch's?
We watched 6 David Lynch films.
Exactly. Yeah. So I've got a little catching up to do.
Yeah. Danny's getting a few episodes in a row for sure. But yeah, that, Flintstones, Viva Rock Vegas.
Viva Rock Vegas.
If you've ever been in a hospital and heard someone flatline, that's this movie.
Oh my god. Damn. I don't hate this movie. But then you say shit like that.
That's what it is.
I know.
It's just.
I know, but this is why I do this to you though, because this is what people want.
Sure. Is that what you want, guys? You want me to be in horrible pain?
Stop it.
Watching movies that I would never watch. They do though. They want us both. That's the whole point.
That's what they want.
Yeah.
Give the people what they want.
I think we think the audience is much more sinister than they are.
I don't. I know what YouTube's like. I know exactly what YouTube's like. You cannot...
Hey, this is on other things. We're not just on YouTube.
That's true.
People are listening to us in their ears.
Speaking of, if you are not looking at us and just listening to us, thanks. And
yeah.
if you're also looking at us and listening to us, thanks.
We appreciate any which way you tend, any which way you want to hear us or look at us or whatever.
Yeah.
It's appreciated.
Yes. Very much.
Speaking of looking at us, live streams every Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern. I will never not say it at the end of this because it's fun, and with more of you guys there, it'll be more fun. We did House of Haunted Hill on this past one that went awesome, and it was fun. It's one of our favorite horror remakes. Danny freaks out a lot if you want to go watch that one.
That's if you want to go watch me jump a lot. That happens.
Yes.
So that's a good time.
Yeah. Also, if you're not following us on social media, we are on Twitter and Instagram and Twitch now for the live streams, and our username is WWYSMTPod on all of those things.
Yes, it is.
So you can check those out.
Yep. We're on Instagram.
Yeah.
And the Twitter.
The Twitter and the Twitch.
Yeah.
We do some polls sometimes for episodes and live streams. So check those out, and maybe we'll watch a movie that you want to watch.
Yeah.
And it'll be a fun time.
It's always a fun time.
It's always a fun time.
Always a good time.
Always.
Always.
And forever.
And forever.
All right.
Wait, no, for all time, always. That's what it is.
What is that about?
That's Loki.
Oh, it's Loki.
Sorry.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we watched Loki.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Yeah, thank you, and we'll see you next Tuesday or this Saturday.
Both.
Come to both. Do both. It's fun. It's great. It's awesome. We love you. Goodbye.
Love you. Bye.